Alright, so one of the things that's been bothering me is when you watch a video and you see something in the video that you're familiar with, and in the movie they just use it in a completely different way, or use it and do things with it that you cannot actually do, or that you're not supposed to do, and it just bothers me. One of those things is one of these. It's not the front pocket knife. One of the things I'll do in movies with these is they'll show someone just walking after someone and just deploying it right into someone, and that irritates me because you cannot actually do that with one of these. The way it opens, it would lead you to believe that you could, but the way the springs work inside, it uses kinetic energy to push the blade back and forth. It doesn't actually have full-on force on the blade. Let's see here. And look at that, there's nothing on my arm anywhere. Because this little thing, you can't actually hurt yourself with it. Watch this. When I go to retract the blade, it retracts 1/4 of an inch because the springs only push 1/4 of an inch in and 1/4 of an inch out. I can actually take this blade and just slide it. No spring tension whatsoever. Watch this. And gravity works on it just fine. Now, when I grab it and I pull, it gets locked back in place because there's a lock in the front and in the back. So the blade will either be locked inside the knife or locked outside of the knife. Right now it's locked outside. Pull the button, and that loud click is actually it being locked inside. I push the button forwards, which is actually pulls on the springs inside, which is how it actually gives force inside of here, because this blade is actually not under any tension at all right now until I pull on that button. And if you actually listen, you can actually hear it. That's the blade inside rattling around. I can actually put my thumb on the button, and that's it. Now when I push forwards on the button, it doesn't rattle, because now that I'm pushing forwards on it, it's applying tension to the blade and it's not letting it rattle. This thing is so much fun. Now, the actual name of these is Out the Front Knife. Pretty sure I already said that though. But one of the things that just absolutely bothers me, and it's not just with this knife, they do it with a whole bunch of things. They just take something and then they'll use it in an improper way, or use it in a way that you can't actually use it, and it just bothers me. For another example, everyone's heard of like C4 and stuff. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's one of the most stable explosives in the world, which means you can't make it explode by shooting it or lighting it on fire. It doesn't actually work that way. If you could make it explode by shooting it, they wouldn't allow military people to carry it around on them. Because if they got shot, they would explode. that's the whole reason they use it, is because it's the most stable explosive. Basically, it's one of the most stable explosives in the world. It has to be set off under very strict conditions to actually make it explode. I think that's about all I have to say. Oh, and a neat thing, these little glass breakers. I always thought these were pretty cool. Now, one thing is that some people call these like skull busters or skull splitters or something, because trench knives actually used to have these on them. They used to have these on the bottom of them. But now they're used for breaking glass, because if you're in a car that's underwater, you're going to want to be able to break out the window and climb out before it gets all the way to the bottom. Which is why most of these are actually on there like that. And just one last time, just so you guys understand, I'm going to try this arm this time because that's a lot closer to the camera. Watch this. Pops out and then it sucks back in, because it works on kinetic energy. And once it's past the 1/4 of an inch mark, here I'll show you, when I push the button forwards, that is as far as it'll go back in there, because it's hitting the spring inside of there while I'm holding the button forwards. So I can't actually push it anymore. This thing is actually pretty solid. Now the same thing applies with back end. Now if I push on it and then pull the button backwards, I can poke it in just fine. And that was because I just pulled it out. Another thing that bothers me is these blood grooves. They're actually to reinforce the metal in the knife by pinching it in a line down the middle. It makes it a lot more sturdy because it's compressed steel in the middle. It doesn't actually have anything to do with blood. They just call them that because they didn't really know what the purpose of them was originally. And it was a really cool nickname that kind of caught on. So that's basically what they call them now, but that's not what their actual intention is. And it's not what their actual use is. This one is double-edged, which I like a lot. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I live in Kansas, so I can own one of these and carry it around with me wherever I want, just like a butterfly knife, because as of 2013, Kansas repealed all their knife laws and made it to where local ordinances could not be made against any type of knife. They made it all Kansas, everywhere, so you cannot make your own county laws against a certain knife. So these are legal everywhere in Kansas now, which I think is awesome, because they didn't really have a reason to make them illegal in the first place. Now, one of the problems though is, since these are really flashy knives, people that think it makes them look cool are going to want to have these, and as a result, usually those people that want those kind of flashy knives are hoodlums. And hoodlums are usually the people that injure other people with such things, which is why it seems like these are used more, because technically they are, because they're used by the people that are more likely to use knives in that manner. And by making them illegal, it actually made them a lot more appealing to hoodlums. Hoodlums. And this is my butterfly knife. These are also legal now because, like I just said, all laws were repealed. I shined the blade up on this thing with 1000 grit sandpaper. If you look really close, you can actually see the reflection of my hat. Check that out. You can see the bill of my hat and the reflection of that knife. Ooh. Alright. Let's see if this one works. Let's see. And not really, it's not that shiny. Let's try this side. Alright, there we go. There's kind of the bill of my hat, but it's upside down. I'm almost out of time. I don't know why, I just like butterfly knives. Just fun to be able to flip it around like that. Just remember to be safe. And don't forget to subscribe. I love these knives so much. Bye.